Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Men of Yoshiwara Kikuya, or Gyakuten Yoshiwara. We are still following Kagerou, and we are on chapter 9, I Like You. So, sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. More than that, why did you say something so risky? Did I do something that I shouldn't have done? Just as I thought. You don't understand anything. You must be a little soft in the head, right? What would you do if someone saw you in a place like this? No matter how much of a good client you are, you won't get away with it. There was no room for me to think that far into it. Really? Even if you're a sheltered princess, in Yoshiwara, the rules of the outside world don't apply. Kagerou-san. Though his words were severe, a pure kindness was overflowing from the depths of his eyes. Did this person really care about me so much? I knew Yoshiwara was a scary place, but my feelings of worry for you, Kagerou-san, were stronger than that. And the truth is, I'm not a good client or anything of the like. Misao-san, what are you trying to say? If anyone, I had to tell this person. I had to tell him the truth. I made up my mind and received Kagerou-san's glance straight on. Kagerou-san's eyes looked like the surface of a serene lake. I didn't want to tell lies in front of him anymore. But how should I tell him? Uh-oh. Let's see. I don't know. None of these can possibly soften the blow. I wasn't trying to deceive you. Sorry for keeping it a secret. I guess the middle? I wasn't trying to deceive you, but... The way you're saying it sounds suspicious. What have you been hiding from me? I'm just a merchant's daughter. I already knew that. I actually saw your store, but I heard that your business is going well, and your father is a famous merchant, isn't he? It's not true. Our business is doing well enough to get by without any luxuries. The person that Iroha-san mistook for my father is just an older man who does business with us. So I'm not rich or anything. Also, the money for the banquet on that first day here, I happened to receive it from a young couple out of gratitude for helping them escape. Was he disgusted by me? With this fear in my mind, I looked at Kagerou-san's face. Is that all? That's nothing. I feel relieved. Relieved? Was I imagining what I heard just now? Relieved? Why is that? I already felt something strange about it before. For an upstart merchant, you weren't the least bit immodest, and I didn't really hear much about your famous father. So you noticed it before? No, I wasn't certain. In any case, could you untie this rope? It's finally started to make me feel numb. Is that okay? I'll retie it myself later. Okay. I went around to Kagerou-san's back and began to untie the rope binding his arms together. I want to tell you something, too. Please don't say anything, and just listen to me. Yes. However, the rope was tied tightly, so it wasn't easy to untie. As I frantically focused on my fingers to untie the rope, Misao-san, I like you. What? I questioned him back in response to those unexpected words. I finally undid the rope's knot, and Kagerou-san moved his wrists. Then he looked at my stunned face. I said I like you. Didn't you hear me? I didn't understand the meaning of this. What was he saying all of a sudden? Was he serious? Could you say that once again? Stop it. I didn't want you to see my face, so I had you behind me. The boy held his knees and looked around nervously. This is the first time I've had these feelings, so I didn't know what to do. Kagerou-san. When I called his name, Kagerou-san came close to me. He put his hands that had painful-looking rope marks over my hands. But it's not because you're rich. It's because you always talk to me with honest feelings. His quietly clear yet melancholy eyes that were the color of the night sky captured my heart. But I have to be a gentleman of the night, so if I said that I like you or whatever, and then tried to get close to a rich girl like you might feel that I wanted you to buy my freedom, and I wouldn't like that. I told you before, but I don't think that I want someone to buy my freedom. Why is that? I want to live by my own strength. If that's the purpose of my studies and martial arts training, then I can work really hard. His fingertips that had touched me before held my hands. I thought his fingers were just skinny before, but they were actually strong and firm fingers of a man. Rather than be supported, I want to support the person I like. I want to be recognized as a real man who can support you. Kagerou-san. I held Kagerou-san's hand back and nodded deeply. That's why he was so sensitive about having his freedom bought, wavering between Shion-san's offer and Kagerou-san. He probably felt irritated with himself since he still had no power. Misao-san. Thank you for talking to me about it. When the boy opened up to me and talked about his feelings like he never did before, I noticed a faint warmth that softly covered my heart. Ah, it was the warmth of love. Could I have fallen in love with him? Misao-san. The boy extended his arms, and he held my body into his still-growing chest, but Kagerou's fingers were shaking, and his eyes that reflected my appearance were blinking non-stop. I will certainly have to take on clients as a gentleman in a few days, but I like you. You're the one that I want to sleep with. If I'm allowed to do as I please, I want you to be my first. The clear voice that reached my ears was so pure that my heart leaped. Me too. I want Kagerou-san to be my first. There's no other person that I could imagine for this except him. Is that really okay for you? Yes, it is. We stared at each other's faces. A paper-framed lamp shined light on us. Kagerou-san's eyes wavered in a way befitting to his name, which is heat haze in Japanese. Kagerou-san. Misao. He called me by my name without the san, which sounded unfamiliar to me. It sounded like something between us was breaking away. From now on, our world would be a world that Kagerou-san and I had never seen before. But I wasn't scared. I wanted to be as one with him. He held me close and brought his innocent lips close to mine, and then his lips laid on top of mine. It was a very gentle kiss. His thin lips were soft, and they quivered so much that they tickled me. But it was like an invitation to go to a hotter and deeper place. I surrendered everything to him just as he wanted. Shion-san and Kagerou-san's words still remained somewhere in the back of my mind, but at that moment our hearts were tied together for the first time, and I swore to give everything for this person. And the day after this kiss, I knew Kagerou-san's debut was going to be 3 days later. Chapter 10, the day of his debut. On this day, the full moon shined dimly in the night sky. But in the town of Yoshiwara, no one cared about the workings of nature. They lit the flame of love and lust to create another world befitting of its name. Ah, finally the day has come. Tonight is a special day. It's the day that Kagerou makes his debut. While holding on to indescribable feelings, I headed to Kikuya. Welcome, Misao. I've been waiting for you. I entered the shop through the entrance, and Iroha-san welcomed me in a very good mood. It seems that he's already accepted it. Just then, the sound of footsteps coming down the stairs rang out. Misao-san, thank you for coming. Kagerou-san. Please take good care of him. I didn't know how to answer, but yes. I will now guide you to the parlor room. And so I was brought to the parlor room. But since earlier, my pounding heartbeat just wouldn't stop. I tried to make myself look prettier than normal, but I wonder how Kagerou-san looks tonight. As I thought about that, Miss, Kagerou just arrived now. With the attendant's announcement, the sliding door was opened. It is I, Kagerou. Kagerou-san sat on the floor and bowed deeply with 3 fingers on each hand placed before him. Seeing him like that instantly took my breath away. How beautiful! The gown was made from high-quality white silk and had camellias painted on it. It matched perfectly with his beauty and grace, from which you could feel Kagerou-san's sharpness. "What happened, Misao?" His shapely lips called my name. I'm sorry. I just forgot my words." "Haven't we already met so many times?" For the first time, I saw his exposed chest that was so white it gave me chills. And though my cheeks were becoming hot, I couldn't even look away from it. "Are you falling in love with me again?" Don't make fun of me. Please don't make fun of me." I thought he read my mind. I was right on the mark, wasn't I? "Well, let's enjoy ourselves. Tonight is the first night for just you and me." Yes, I looked at his softly narrowed eyes and thought they were breathtaking. Certainly at this moment, I may have fallen in love with him again. The banquet proceeded in a somewhat quiet fashion. I probably felt like that because of Kagerou-san, who was right next to me. There was no dancing, singing, or music. None of those sounds came to my ears. "Misao." I still wasn't used to it. Whenever he called my name without the sun, my heart pounded so fast that it felt like it was about to jump out of my chest. Suddenly, Kagerou-san brought his thin shoulders close to me. "Kagerou-san?" "May I hold your hand?" "Go ahead." His long fingers that I could see from his sleeve covered my hand. "You really look like you're experiencing everything for the first time today. But I also feel the same way." I couldn't really understand what he was trying to say, so I looked into Kagerou-san's face. When I peered into his face, the depths of his night sky-colored eyes looked moist. His fingers tightly entwined themselves with my fingers. I could feel him shaking from the place where we were connected, and I knew that we were both nervous. I don't know whether to be scared or happy that this day has come. Suddenly, his lips came close to my eyes. When his tense, small voice slipped from his lips, I remembered the feeling of our kiss from a few days ago. "Misao, I want to be together with you, just the two of us, as soon as possible." Just the two of us. Soon. Sooner. The banquet finally came to an end. After everyone left, Kagerou-san pulled my hand into the room. "Shall we go to the bedroom?" Then, he opened the sliding door that continued through to an inner chamber. In the bedroom, the incense was being burned. An indescribably sweet-smelling air filled the room, and in the presence of the freshly made bed in front of the gilded folding screen, I tightly held Kagerou's hand back, and then, "I've been waiting to see you for a long time now." Along with his thin voice that seemed forced from his lips, he held me passionately. "Kagerou-san." "Misao, for the past few days, I've only been thinking of you. Even at the banquet we just held, I was fretting over how to suppress my feelings. I'm strange, right? But I don't hate it." Kagerou-san shrugged his shoulders in embarrassment. "No, you're not strange at all. I also feel the same way." All I could do was stare at him. I've waited impatiently for the time that we could be alone together. So, I wasn't the only one. With his deepened embrace, a gentle feeling came inside of me. I was loved by this person. It was a joy that I've never felt before. "Misao." Suddenly, his eyes emitted a serious flash of light. "Are you sure that you won't regret this? If you go forward with this, I'll take something important from you." "I will never regret it." "But I'm a gentleman of the night. Even though I will leave by my own power someday, I may hurt your feelings before that day comes. Are you okay with that?" "I won't say it again. I won't think about the future now. I just want to be with Kagerou-san." I quietly closed my eyes. My lips were covered with a soft feeling. This was the third kiss that we exchanged. "Misao." When I opened my eyes, the person that I loved was right before my eyes. His fingers smoothly extended towards the buttons at my chest, and one by one, he unfastened my buttons. He moved his hands in a respectfully polite manner, and just as I thought that the boy's fingers had touched my exposed soft skin, in that very moment, my body was laid down on the bed. Plunk. Something rolled out of my pocket and fell to the floor. This is from the fair. Kagerou-san picked up the Komachi shell. You bought this with you. Today is your first night, Kagerou-san, so I wanted to be more beautiful than usual, at least for tonight. But I couldn't get the color very well. Embarrassed, I looked away from the boy. I noticed. For someone like you who never wears makeup, to try to entice me by putting rouge on your lips, it makes me happy. Kagerou-san! Kagerou-san's eyes blinked alluringly. I will apply the rouge for you. Kagerou-san quickly licked his pinky with his red tongue and mixed the gold color on the edge of the shell. From the area that he touched with his finger, a vivid red color slowly started to form. His bright red dyed finger then softly touched my lips. I'm hot. I feel hot. My fingers, my face, and inside my chest, on my lips that he had just kissed earlier. His pinky slowly applied the rouge. You're shaking. Stay like that and don't close your mouth. From the corners of my mouth to its plump center, his pinky touched my lips as if they were caressing them. These lips of yours and your heart, tonight they will all become mine. Please give me your everything. As I looked into his passion-filled eyes, my nether regions quickly became hot. Yes, Kagerou-san, tonight I will become yours. As we kissed, my red-colored lips became hot and wet, and with his unsteady caressing, my body opened up and I experienced the pain of losing one's virginity. In the precious arms of the person that I loved. Tweet, 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 tweet. I could faintly hear the sounds of the birds singing from outside. Before I knew it, I was waking up from my slumber, in Kagerou-san's arms. With the silky feel of his skin against mine, I wished that I could stay like this for a while. It's a nice feeling to wake up with you in my arms like this. With a happy smile on his face, the boy combed my hair with his hand. Me too. As he stared at me, my memory of last night became clear in my mind. I felt embarrassed, but I was so happy. Maybe it's because I felt relieved to be with you. But I had a dream where I remembered something from my far past. A dream? With a nostalgic look in his eyes, Kagerou-san whispered in my ear, Yes, I remembered my family from a long time ago. Can I tell you about it? Yes. To be honest, I had always hated my father. He was just a good-looking drunk. My mother was a woman who devoted herself to my father. But she didn't have the confidence to hold down the man that she had. So she couldn't say anything to him, no matter what he did. He looked away from me and sighed in a self-deprecating way. I was sold to the district when I was little, so that's all I can remember of my parents. Kagerou-san. My sister was married to a foreigner after he was captivated by her beauty. My father and sister were nothing but looks. I've always been complimented on my appearance, but that actually turns me off. Kagerou-san, aren't you also knowledgeable in the scholarly pursuits and martial arts? Yes, I don't want to become a person who has nothing but looks. So, I've been trying to work harder to be better than anyone else in my studies and skills. Maybe that's the reason. When I saw Kagerou-san training himself, even though he was sold to this kind of place, I admired him. I wish that I could be like him. His expression turned to a look of admiration for the person that he admired, which touched my heart. When I have someone that I love in the future, I want her to see my heart. Kagerou-san. That's why you like Kagerou-san so much. I want to learn about a lot of things under his tutelage, but he told me that I need to leave the nest. I was an inconvenience for him, wasn't I? No, that's not true. Kagerou-san asked me to take good care of you many times, Kagerou-san. Kagerou opened his eyes wide, as if he couldn't believe what I just said. Kagerou said such things? Geez, what's his deal? Why didn't he tell me that honestly? He's terrible at handling these things. But aren't you the same, Kagerou-san? Why? When have I done something like that? But you're always teasing me, Kagerou-san. You always said harsh things to me. Really? I guess love is a difficult thing. The more I love you, the more confused I get. I've learned that for the first time after meeting you. Is that so? Was he saying that all those harsh words he said up until now were a sign of his love? It is, really. Before I met you, I felt okay as long as I could study and practice martial arts. I never thought that I would want to love. As he stared at me, Kagerou-san beamed with a mischievous look in his eyes. Hey, Misao. I want you to kiss me. Kagerou-san! Because I love you. Because I want you. His incredibly gentle glance enveloped me. So, if you love me, please kiss me. Should I kiss him? Yeah, I should kiss him. Go. Okay. But it's embarrassing, so please close your eyes. No. If I did that, then I wouldn't be able to see your red face. Though his mind was straight like a sword, he was unable to express his feelings honestly. Hurry up and do it. Yes. As the boy smiled, I softly pressed my lips to his cheek. It tickles. You can do it to my lips, too. I'll do that next time. When I saw him raise his voice in laughter, I felt it again. I was in love with him. I loved him uncontrollably. We fully enjoyed our post-coital moments. Then we made ourselves presentable and left the bedroom. I will see you off at the gate today. You don't need to do that. It's enough for you to just take me to the entrance of the shop. Kagerou-san, who was pulling my hand, looked back at me. That's what I want to do. I want to spend as much time with you as possible. And so we headed towards the entrance. Kagerou-san came to us from down the hallway with a distressed look on his face. Oh, Kagerou-san, good morning. Kagerou, Kagerou-san briefly greeted us and lowered his head in front of me. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time. Misao. What? What do you mean? Just then, I could hear the sound of many people running. A bunch of women were racing towards us from the direction that Kagerou-san came from. Who are they? I'll be Kagerou's second client. No, I'll be the one. I've had my eye on him since he was a young boy. And that's it for this particular reading. We shall continue this in the next video, and I hope to see you in some of my future videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.